I thought to myself, that's surely going to have about 400 units, but it only has 111. What have the Bretonnians? Bretonnians, they are the android race. Yes, they are the robot race of the Bretonnians. Hello reformers, and welcome back to Warsword Conquest and Slythe and his quest for cheese. Kind of, not really, because we're fighting dwarves and they don't really have cheese. But anyway, point is, we are going to try and eliminate them. And yeah, this is actually kind of amazing because I don't think this guy is the liege, but it sounds pretty impressive, doesn't it? Look at that, Hold King. Sounds like a pretty impressive title to have for some random, you know, just out in the field somewhere. But anyway, 71 against 59. There's actually two. There are two vassals that we're doing battle with here, and I'm not entirely sure how this is going to go because we do have a little bit of an issue here, and that is that we have, well, a pretty weird battlefield initially. I actually don't have any, by the way. I don't have any more poisoned wind globadiers because, well, they actually all leveled up, and that's pretty good, isn't it? I feel like that's pretty good. Anyway, let's just hold fire real quick here. I don't want our guys to use all of their bullets too easily, and hopefully everyone will then also be able to get into position reasonably easily. And you could see here that one warp block engineer was like, oh, I'm a bit stuck here, guys. Would you mind helping me out? And yeah, that's exactly what I've done. Alright, so it seems like the dwarves might be a little bit lazy, which is to be expected, and they are seeming to fire at us, so I suppose I'm going to fire back. Fire at will. Let's do this. Oh yeah, that's what you get. Oh yeah, there we go. Alright, so that's exactly what we want to see from these warplock engineers, and hopefully once we have gotten a couple more of these master gunners and scryer Jezzails and so on and so forth, hopefully they will also prove to be extremely effective at long range. I mean, that's the main reason why we have those guys, of course, because if they're not in our party, then we're going to have a pretty difficult time of things unless we have huge amounts of assassins and plague priests and things like that. But even so, having this amount of ranged, fantastic. It's really, really good. What I'm going to do is I'm also going to use Wither here. There we go. Yes, it's actually working. It's actually working for once. Very good indeed. And let's bless our people with filth as well. I'm not entirely sure whether it works on ranged attacks. Again, I don't exactly know whether it does, but hopefully it does. And otherwise, let's tell everyone to charge in. Never mind. Okay. Apparently it doesn't matter, but yes, if it does, then we're just going to try and swarm the Dwarven Rangers, because there's only a couple of them. Oh, wow. Only a couple of them left, and the Master Engineer Vassal on the enemy side was absolutely mauled. Mauled, I tell you, by that Rat Ogre. And I guess, you know, I guess Slythe told the Rat Ogre, hey, that guy's got some cheese, you might want to kill him. Well, I don't think the Rat Ogre actually eats cheese. I think he probably just eats the faces of the enemy. But anyway, we're done. 17 renown. Wow, I'm actually kind of surprised about that. I thought we were going to get a decent amount. I didn't think we would get an amazing amount, but that's pretty good. I actually thought maybe 5, 6 renown for that, but it was easy enough. And that was merely because of the environment that we had. Anyway, let's see if we can... Ah, yes, I do get to take him prisoner. And I am going to do that. There we go. Alright, so that's improved our relation with a couple of factions here. Seems like the dwarves are only allied with themselves, because we haven't lost any relation with anyone else, which is good to see, because otherwise I think I would have been a bit disappointed, because that would have, well, that maybe would have closed off a couple of extra areas for us to go into. But anyway, Dwarven Helms. You know what? I don't really want to take any of these things personally. I feel like if I am going to be doing something, I'm going to be raiding this nearby village. Unfortunately, there is another Hold King in here, and he has 146, which is a little bit of a difference to those two vassals that we just eliminated. They had a combined total of, like, what, 60 or something like that? So it was pretty easy for us to achieve some kind of victory there. But otherwise, I've just been running around here, just attempting to find a couple of dwarven vassals, and I suppose the hunt will still continue now. And the hunt has proven very fruitful indeed. You can see here that we have Lord Brock Stonefist and Lord Slayer Skvelt, and they are both coming out of this nearby fief of Karak Gantuk, and there was actually someone giving them a bit of a chaperone. There was a bit of a bodyguard nearby. I don't know where he is now, but it seems like he has run away, and that means that I will have... oh yeah, I will have these guys all to myself, which is pretty fantastic. Otherwise, what we're going to do is we're going to just continue leveling up our intelligence here, because I would like to get another point in magic, and we should probably go for another point in pathfinding as well, just to make sure that we are just as quick as we need to be on the battlefield. And we might actually want to get a little bit more in athletics as well, but I think for the moment, maybe some more tactics would make some sense, because if we are going to be fighting against bigger odds, then that is going to be a good way to go. Obviously, I've seen a comment that said if you go for more tactic skill, it might reduce the amount of renown that you get per battle. And yes, okay, you know, that's a worthwhile consideration to make. But I think for the moment, considering we have such a small army as it is, and we might be very well fighting people with about 100 or so units, we're already outnumbered as it is, and even if my battle advantage then does result in being 0, then I think that's good enough. I think the renown value from that is going to be fine. So let's go in and see what we can do against these fellows. And I think after this, we're probably going to go... oh, we're actually outnumbered. We are actually outnumbered right here. But yes, anyway, after this, I think we're probably going to go over to Middenheim, because that is actually one of the towns that I know of that has a very good amount of salt production. And we are going to try and just get that salt and then probably take it to the Great Horn or something like that. And then we'll move on from there. I'm not entirely sure what we'll do after that, but we'll see what happens with these dwarves, because who knows? Maybe I'm gonna have some problems here. Oh yeah, I do have a couple of poisoned wind globadiers here as well. Oh, the Talisman of Stone regenerates Lord Brock. Apparently he has some kind of artifact or some kind of rune weapon, perhaps, that is enabling him, to do some wonderful regeneration. But yeah, that's actually a really cool thing about the dwarves. They don't get magic in this mod. They don't get the fun magic like we're using right here. They get rune weapons instead, and you can access the runesmith from, what is it, 500 renown or something like that, and then you will be able to construct all kinds of really, really cool magically imbued weapons and things like that. So that's actually a pretty cool thing. I don't think this is a good place for us to be, but I don't really have much time to change it, to be honest. You know what? I think it's going to be okay. I think we'll be okay here, but I'm a bit worried, to be honest, because we had an absolutely fantastic area before in the previous battle, and we were just about able to kill the enemies before they arrived. So I'm not entirely sure if this is going to be similar. I'm going to actually start firing away right now. I think we should get a couple of kills. Yeah, we're going to get a couple of kills from this distance. And do bear in mind that as soon as these dwarves... I mean, literally, they're making a pretty bad error here by going on that hill. If they are on that hill, they're going to make many, many good targets for our Warplock engineers, especially that giant slayer that just got eliminated. That was going to do so much damage if it survived getting to our location. But no, many of them are also perishing right here. Okay, so I'm actually going to just fire off a bit of a wither here so that they can take a little bit of extra damage. Poison Wind Globadier is actually doing their thing. We're losing a couple of infantry here thanks to the Master Thunderers and the various other ranged units that the dwarves have at their disposal, but for the most part I think we're pretty good. I'm going to try and imbue everyone with filth here, and then we're going to try and collapse upon the many, many enemies that are coming in here. And I've got to be a bit careful. Oh, that was Lord Slayer Skvelt himself. Slive slew him. Wow. Okay, that was kind of a coincidence, a pretty good one at that. I was actually not thinking that we would get any opportunity to eliminate any of the enemy lords, that's for sure. But it seems Slive is always in a good place at the, well, right place at the right time kind of situation, I guess. And otherwise, it seems like we do have a couple of people coming in from the opposite direction here, and we don't really need to worry about them, I don't think. I mean, our ranged units do tend to have quite a few bullets, and that's kind of the reason why I decided to level up many of our Poisoned Wind Globadiers, because I know a lot of people do tend to just leave the Globadiers in, well, in kind of like a status quo, you know, sort of a limbo thing, and they don't upgrade them because they are just so good in dealing with clumps of units. And yeah, you know, if we were doing sieges and things like that, and the Globadiers were going to be using their globes against huge amounts of clumped up units, I'm talking about, I don't know, 50, 100 units at once, then I would say, yeah, definitely worth it to keep a critical mass of those. But considering magic and, actually, you know what? It's not counted as magic, is it? That's actually a good point. I don't think it's counted as magic. It's counted as some kind of equipped weapon. So that is kind of interesting, and maybe is a reason why we, or should I say I, might need to rethink getting a couple more Globadiers in the mix. But I think for the moment we're not really doing that many sieges at the moment. I mean, yes, you know, we did a siege over here, but that's not really my action. I didn't really take that as my initiative. It was more our allied vassals that were doing that, and yeah, I suppose what we're going to do now is I would like to obviously travel to Middenheim, but first I would like to just take a quick look and see who the Skaven are actually at war against. So this is, okay, so we're at war against the dwarves, of course, we're at war against Araby, of course. Now we need to figure out who else we are at war against. Ah, yes, Bretonia, of course. How could I forget? How could I forget those wonderful, wonderful people? Alright, so we're going to go to Middenheim real quick. I'm going to see if they do have any salt available to us, and if they don't, then I guess we're going to head back down and maybe buy some salt. Oh, that was quick. Okay. Yes, maybe buy some salt from Skaven Blight or something like that and sell it at the Great Horn. But anyway, we do have a ransom on our hands here. 6,200 is pretty insane. I'm going to take that. I don't think I was expecting anything close to that. But that's pretty nice. And what else is going on here? Oh, okay, so they're just awarding a couple of villages. Obviously, I am a mercenary still, so it's not really giving me any opportunity to kind of expand my quote-unquote portfolio, because obviously I don't have any, I don't have a vassalage, you know, no vassalage whatsoever, so obviously I'm not going to be getting anything like that. I think I'm probably going to get another point in inventory management here as well. I think that's probably going to be quite useful, and otherwise we'll go for another point in trainer, because eventually, I mean, look, we're level 16. In no time we're going to be level 20, level 25, and so on, and it's going to make a big difference to us. And what we probably need to do, once I get to about 24 intelligence, which will result in 8 magic and 8 pathfinding, I think that will probably be a good enough time to leave our intelligence where it is, and we might try to level up our strength a little bit more, so that maybe at some point in the future I might be able to use a ball and chain weapon, and that would be pretty fun. Alright, so just before we make our way back to the Great Horn, I just wanted to show you how much I'm actually buying here and how much it's going to cost. You can see it's going to cost me 4,100 gold for all of this salt. And we have fine salt here, no large bags. I think we have one large bag, a couple of large bags actually of salt, and that's pretty good. And we're going to see how much we actually get for this. Alright, so I'm now on my way back, of course, to the Great Horn to sell my salt, and I thought on the way, hey, you know, let's try and look for a couple of patrols or maybe a vassal or two, and it seems like we've actually come across a caravan from Bretonia, and I thought to myself, yeah, okay, we're gonna you know, do something about these guys, and we're gonna see how good or how bad, either way, their units are, because I don't think in the entirety of my time playing Warsword Conquest, which is obviously, I wouldn't say super extensive, but I would say that I've played it quite a bit, and in my entire time doing it and playing it, I have never once fought against Bretonia, and I have no idea why that is. It's just how it went. I didn't ever have an opportunity to go up against them, because none of the factions that I joined actually declared war against them, and I saw no need to fight them myself when I created my own faction as, I think, didn't I create my own faction as my goblin? I'm not entirely sure about that, I can't remember now, because it was a while ago. But anyway, the point is that it's going to be kind of interesting to see how it goes. I do seem to remember that they have, well, it seems like they have healing abilities of some kind, but they do have pretty heavy cavalry. So that might be a bit of a problem for our Warplock engineers. As you can see right here, they're actually taking quite a bit of damage. Now, if we can get them to go into melee range, maybe that's going to be a little bit different for us. And you can see here that it's kind of a bit of a mess. It's a bit of a mess, really. I did not want it to be this much of a mess, of course, but I think the main reason why that happened is because they basically just ran at us. They ran at us very aggressively indeed, and we didn't really have a good opportunity to set up. And I guess that's something that we've learned now. Obviously, do bear in mind that because this is a caravan, it does not have a vassal or anything, so it doesn't have someone commanding them. And we did only lose 4, but we lost 1 Warplock engineer, and 1 plague monk, and 1 scryer Jezzail, so that's kind of harsh, you know? That's kind of harsh to lose such good units from such a small party, but that's exactly the reason why I wanted to fight these guys, because it actually gives us an idea as to how good they can be and how deadly they might actually be in a real situation. Well, this is a pretty funny battle for us to partake in. It's nothing... there's no challenge here whatsoever. There really isn't. I don't think we're going to lose anyone, but the main reason why we're doing this is not for the challenge, not for the renown, not for the experience, not for anything like that. It's actually for a huge amount of prisoners. And this pirate press gang has been running around, no doubt, in Skaven territory for quite some time, picking on villagers, on caravans, on all kinds of manners of Skaven parties. And what do we want to do? We want to scavenge those. We want to scavenge those prisoners and add them to our own, and we're going to see how that goes. Obviously, there is only 1 enemy remaining now. Easy enough, obviously. I mean, they only had about 14 units here, so, it's just a formality. But once this last enemy has perished, we will be able to take a look at the, well, wide variety, shall we say, of prisoners that we have. I actually can't believe that this quartermaster was able to eliminate so many of our units, but I guess I should probably, I mean, he was taking out Skaven slaves. I mean, we can't really expect them to be able to beat a pretty high-tier unit. But anyway, as you can see, oh yes, they have everything under the sun, from great swords, warrior priests, beastmen, raiders, and chaos dwarves. And then, of course, they do have a number of Skaven as well. And I saw a couple of Jezzails and engineers and priests, and I was like, yes, please give me those. And that's exactly why I wanted to attack them. Obviously, I'm not going to be taking any other units. I don't know, I might take the, if there are any chaos dwarves, I could take them, but they are dwarves still, which, I don't know, really. I know that a couple of people have given pretty extensive information backgrounds on what the Skaven get on with and everything, and that's very much appreciated. Don't get me wrong on that. I'm just a little bit dubious about splitting things so much, because obviously Skaven in general, they do have some pretty awesome divergent troop paths and upgrades, and I don't think they're really needing anything else, you know what I mean? Like, cavalry, okay, they do have a cavalry path to upgrade into, but for the most part, it's just not very good. It's just not very good. I mean, yes, they're okay, but, and they do have Ignore Pain, as far as I'm aware. I think someone actually said in the comments that the Molder Pack Masters, or whoever is the highest tier, or one of the higher tier units, they do actually come with Ignore Pain, which obviously does make them much, much more durable and a little bit more useful as a result. But I think for me, I think just going for that standard kind of Skaven army is a really good way to go. Otherwise, I don't exactly know what to spec into Katya here. I mean, she has everything that is needed for medicinal skills. I think I know what I'm going to do. We're going to just leave this skill point. Next level, we're going to spec into intelligence. We're going to gain an additional skill point from obviously the intelligence and the level, so we'll have 3 skill points. Then we'll be able to spec into wound treatment, surgery, and first aid, and we'll be able to get them all to level 5, which will be maximum for her current intelligence level. So that's pretty good in my opinion. Otherwise, I think we can continue onward, and I don't know whether you noticed, but I did take those cartridges from that fight because I'd like to be able to either purchase a pistol or find one from some fight or another. But anyway, I'm going to go to the Great Horn now and see what we can do about selling our salt. Well, what do we have? Oh my, yeah, we have a huge amount of money from this transaction. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to treat my rats to a couple of pieces of well-made and fine cheese, because come on, how can you not? When you have so much money for coming in from this one transaction, you just have to do that. 10,000 gold is a result of all that salt, and well, how can I ever go anywhere else to sell my salt from now on? It is just insane. And yeah, I think also if we do come across any Dark Elf companions, I will also be taking those, because apparently the Dark Elves have kind of like this friendly rivalry going on with the Skaven, because they are all, well, both of them are kind of into the whole, I'm going to backstab you very sneakily and we're going to see who's the better one, and so on. So hopefully we will be able to find someone like that, because I'd like to be able to equip them with some kind of crazy Dark Elf crossbow, multi-shooting crossbow, which would be pretty cool. But otherwise, I think what we're going to do now is we're going to try and venture into Bretonnian lands and see if we can find a couple of vassals to prey upon. I think that's where most of my vassals, or shall we say most of our brethren, are there, because obviously they're not my vassals. Alright, so before we venture into Bretonnian lands, I just wanted to update you on the fact that I'm actually spending 9,000 to invest in an enterprise here, and lo and behold, the price and the quote for the amount of money that we're going to get each week is actually pretty low here. And I think this is Putrid Stump. Yeah, I think it's called Putrid Stump, this town. Very very delightful names that they have for their towns, don't they? Otherwise, yes, the Weavery and Dye Works actually gives us about 900 gold per week, and the oil press, which is 3,000 gold cheaper, gives us a little bit more. So I'm going to be going for that, and that will be done pretty soon. But yes, otherwise I'm going to just check the tavern real quick, and otherwise if there aren't any companions here, then we will be in Bretonnian lands. So upon adventuring into Bretonnian lands, I was met by a task. Yes, a task to go and speak to Warlord Queek, who is he's our marshal, of course, and I've already spoken to him once, and now he is giving us a task to go and scout these areas. Yes, okay. So this is going to be a bit difficult for me, because I'm not entirely sure how close by any of the enemy vassals are, and many of the Skaven have actually taken quite a few losses. I mean, you can see here, they're actually pretty low in terms of the amounts of units that they have in each of their armies, so I'm not entirely sure if we're going to be even able to get reinforcements from them. So we're going to see how that goes. Otherwise, they are giving a couple of other fiefs out there, and it seems like, oh, look at that. The Skaven and the Empire have concluded a non-aggression pact. That's kind of interesting. Okay, otherwise, Brion is now scouted. Where else do I need to go? This place and this place. Okay, so that is whereabouts? Over there. And where's the other one? I have 7 days to do this, so that's pretty good. Where is this? What? That is super far away. Okay. Well, I was not anticipating that, but okay. I think they're probably going to besiege. What? That only has 111? I am very shocked, actually. I thought to myself, that's surely going to have about 400 units, but it only has 111. What have the Bretonnians? Bretonnians, they are the android race. Yes, they are the robot race of the Bretonnians. I mean, Bretonnians. Haha, yes. Oh, let me just call them Bretonnians again. Yes, great. Good work. Anyway, there was a vassal right there, very, very close to us getting into a battle with him. I would prefer not, thank you very much. And, oh, Bretonnians, that's too funny. Oh. Apparently the Bretonnians have taken Carrick Hearn from Skaven Underworld. Yes, again. Oh dear, we seem to have lost that. Well, that's, I guess that's kind of bad, isn't it? That is kind of bad, because we did do quite well to take that, but it seems that maybe that was the point. Maybe the Skaven have been playing a deeper game, and they knew that the Bretonnians were going to declare war, and as a result, they took some fief far away from the front lines. And that's exactly what they wanted, because then they can take one of the main towns from the Bretonnians. So that's actually a pretty decent thing to do if they can actually take... Oh, okay. Apparently they're not wanting to take Brionne, which is a bit weird. Okay, there you go. There's our current profit currently going on. That's pretty good. The wages from the mercenary is also very nice. Basically the same as a dye works. And this is kind of weird. Oh, okay. That guy's the leader then, I assume. Yes, I don't know about any of the ranks in Bretonnia at all. As I say, I have no idea about Bretonnia in general. I feel like they're kind of unknown quantity to me. Otherwise, let's have a look here. Why are they not taking this? Why are you not taking this? They are being absolutely imbecilic right now. I have no idea. You know what? I'm gonna try and see if I can find who the fellow is. There's the liege. Yes, that fellow, the Seer Lord. Where is he? He should be between Swamp Hole and Skaven Blight at the moment. Okay. Yeah, well... Where's that? Oh, right here. Oh, okay. Well, that's kind of unfortunate. Oh, it seems like Lucchini is now being taken by the Beastmen. It seems like there's a lot of switching around here. And I guess I don't blame them. I'm not entirely sure what the Nippon and the Lizardmen are doing, though. It seems like they might not be able, maybe, to wage war against the people further away from them. And I wouldn't blame them, I suppose. Long-range wars are very, very taxing on your party. But otherwise, oh, I'm just going to attack this caravan. This is an Araby caravan, very far away from home. Oh yeah, you're going down. You're going down. Oh yeah. And speaking of Araby, I believe that the Nafatun units that I said were using magic, they're not actually using magic. They're basically the Globadier equivalent for the Araby, and I did not know that, obviously, so thanks for the clarification. Otherwise, yeah, that's actually kind of useful then, because Nafatun, the Nafatun unit, obviously will run out eventually of their... What are they called again? Something like flammable bombs or something like that, like oil bombs or something. And yeah, they will run out of those eventually. So that's pretty good to know, because I was a bit worried that, you know, if they had magic, then it would be a lot easier for them, because they would be able to regenerate it, and they would be able to use abilities over and over and over. So it's nice that they have a limited supply of those things. Unfortunately, they do have these sand wraiths, but sand wraiths do tend to go down pretty quickly, because of course they are... well, big targets. I mean, let's face it, they are pretty large. They're basically like rat ogres. And even so, I think they're actually maybe a little bit bigger than rat ogres, which a big testament to say that you're a little bit taller and larger than a rat ogre, that's for sure. And our rat ogre, Jerry, is still alive. Can you imagine? I have no idea how, but he's still alive. This is a guy that we literally got from, what was it? I think our first or second battle, just because we rescued him as a prisoner. Pretty cool. Otherwise, we did lose quite a few units there, but, well, I don't really mind, to be honest. I feel like we are pretty good with our army size at the moment, and we are just going to be continuing to level up units going forward, and we just gained a couple of nice pieces of loot there as well. And let's see what we can get here. I think I'll go for some more Scryer Gunners. Let's split these in half. Let's go for a couple of skirmishers and a couple of infantry as well. And we got a Storm Vermin. How many Storm Vermin do I have? I only have 4. So yeah, we don't have that many of those guys. And I think what I'm going to do with this fellow, as I said before, is I'm going to turn him into some kind of maybe like a tougher Warplock engineer, and we'll just give him like really good armor, like Storm Vermin armor maybe, and then we'll also go for maybe a nice one-handed weapon, maybe from the Dark Elves, maybe if the poison actually works with that. I think that would be pretty cool. But otherwise, I'm very surprised that these guys are not doing anything. I could hand in my quest, of course, But this is kind of weird, to be honest. I feel like it's really weird that they're not doing anything about that. So, yeah, I mean, they could easily take this. Like, I'm talking easy. Easy, super easy that they could take this. But may I suggest a course of action? He's not going to take this. Oh, is he actually going to listen to me? I am sorry. I need to attend my own business at the moment. Are you serious? Oh well, never mind. It seems like he is going to be unwilling to take Brionne, even though there are literally only about 100 units there, and that's very disappointing. It's very disappointing. Maybe Karakhan is going to be the same with its garrison, so maybe they're going to decide to retake that, which is a bit of a questionable decision because they could just literally take one of the biggest towns in Bretonia right now. I was going to say Bretonnia again. I was. Anyway, that will be it for this episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.